Okay, I'm back with the developmental section of the Prokofiev 6 first movement, and we had reached the point where I got to do the quote pugno places. That's the fist bumping places. So I'm going to start right from there. It's 142 for those of you counting. Well, let's see what happened to the melody. There's the E. So the fist bumping is a interjection, but if I count from 140, I have octaves, interesting octaves, because the bottom note is released early. Whenever I play it in the left hand, so it's this kind of quality. Okay, so I think as much as anything he must have done it for fun. He doesn't even put an accent on those fist places. So they're not melodically significant. They're certainly harmonically rather indistinct. Too much sostenuto. Because if I actually do sostenuto in 141, to be authentic, I don't know where I can. Alas, if I do that and catch the thumb, the left hand note, I'm creating a false octave. If I do it in the right hand alone, excuse me, with the damper pedal, I create mud. I don't like that at all, but it's one of those situations where I can't do what is asked of me. Short of, this would be it, authentically. One beat worth of 16th notes. Let go of everything except the right hand thumb. Put down the sostenuto. Perfect. Is it possible to use the sostenuto that quickly? After having let go of this D on top. Well, I'm not sure it is. Possible in 147. It's repeated eighth notes as opposed to 16th notes, so no problem there. I said before, I'm going to practice a bit without the sostenuto because I've layered on too many elements of complexity. There's too much else going on. Well, take it back. That particular one, the second called pugno, is marked with an accent. The third one, the left hand, is marked with an accent. So I've got to assume that the first one should have been marked with an accent. There's no reason I can think of for it not to have been. If you're going to ask for that specific and big kind of a physical approach, it doesn't make sense to pretend it's not there. So. So there's nothing terribly complex about how the right hand is playing. 1, 3, 4, even the way I've redivided it. 1, no. Let's see what the left hand done on its own seems like. It's slightly tricky. It's 144. Just so I've got the beginning of the theme. You can see from all this, even doing it slowly and thoughtfully, all this busyness makes it obvious that it's impossible to read this accurately. So I don't want to. Challenging spots in this section. I have mentioned, whoa, I'm an octave too low. So there. Well, 2/5 really does seem to work well. Let me work out this transition. It's a little difficult to find. Here it is. Where do my eyes go? First they shift briefly to where my left hand is going, but before too long, they're up there in the right hand area. I don't even need that much help in the right hand. Certainly the left hand placement is the most challenging. So I can stay with my gaze midway between the hands there, I think. I'm looking mostly to favor my left hand. Well, that time I didn't. I checked both out. I'm going to add my foot. Slur gesture. In my left hand, so let's see. Approach by a third, approach by a fourth, approach by a third, approach by a fifth. Well, every other one is C sharp. That's a help. Notes each time are not big. I'm just playing them a little more intensely to remind myself what they are. Intervals, the third, fourth, the third under that. One way I could practice them would be because feeling the linear connection, legato like that, makes them more obvious. If I do too much non-legato too soon, the spatial relationship is not well defined. So by doing it legato, if I can, there it is. So that helps an enormous amount. Let's see. And here. So am I playing these in the octave? Let's see. I have not written them as octaves. Let's see what. There's no particular. Another one of these odd things, a durational thing. The third beat of the 152 is a quarter note too. But then you have to play these down here. Now I can conceivably go 1, 3, 5, 5, but if I want absolute clarity, I would do that in spite of the stretching involved. Regular pedal, I get this with a bit of a smear here. Whoa. The other thing I could do is take Prokofiev half at his word, or tell him he's mistaken a little bit, but not that much. So I could play the octave with 1 and 3, let go of the 1. The moment it becomes too much of a stress, compromises that are associated with interpreting. I always think that the ideal aural image is perhaps captured by the composer's notation, especially if the composer is gifted with notation. But much of the time, you have to have a hunch, or assume something about the intent that's not being delivered by the literal indication. And that, I think, is more often than not what happens. So in any event, I'm going to play 1-3 here. At least I can pay lip service, or finger service, to his intent. And that's not bad. So I've got to remember the comfort of the 1, 2, 3, 4 with 2 blacks and the lesser experience with the second finger on C sharp. So, well, again, my fingering leaves something to be desired if I pay attention to what he wrote. What he wrote was an indication of the melodic importance of that E flat. Okay, I don't see it in my fingering notation. I could go 2, 1, 3, 4, 5, and then adjust to a comfortable finger. That way, I could actually hold on to the E flat as he indicated. This is in measure 152. So I'm going to put that in as a possible, what did I say? 1, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4, 5. It's not bad. It's odd. At least without extra help from the pedal, either one of them. I have presence on that E flat for a while. It doesn't have to be full quarter. It has to be present. It's interesting that he does melodically draw a line from the E flat to the D, but he also puts a rest in. So, making us fully cognizant of the fact that he's cognizant of the fact that he can't connect. So it's rest. And one note too few. It's often a question of awareness when you're trying to get somewhere. My body wants to get to the 4th finger because it's been getting to the 4th finger. The passage finishes on the 3rd finger, however, so. Also the beats on 4th finger, well, that helps. Beats on 4th finger. Beat, 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 beat. So if I'm aware of that, my gesture can help to tell me where I am. It means this is an arrival point. I shift melodic attention from the right to the left-hand thumb. That's where I get stuck. I can see why. sostenuto. There's no way I can reach this, and I really do want the staccato. Sostenuto here too. Oh, and actually the fingering here doesn't matter if I'm using sostenuto pedal. I had written fifth. I guess it gets me ready a little early. Go back. Remember the intervals in the left. Ah, yes. The third finger. Lots of stuff happening. Lots of things to remember. And too many things to remember, let me put it this way. So I've got to remember less and retain more, if you know what I mean. That I want to just be able to do stuff without thinking I'm consciously thinking about it. A little slower. Seems that I've been just unconsciously playing the fourth here, then maybe the fifth because it's longer. Once again. Not because I thought of it, but because I keep doing it and it seems to work. So. And on we go. 157. Okay, now we're combining. Oh, the theme from 40, even in key. from 24, all this chromaticism. So, but all on the right hand alone. So, I've got to be careful because the missing note, I was wondering where it was in the left hand. I'm going to double, so. Turn fingering on 173. Oh no, I take it back. C sharp minor on top. So F sharp is real easy with 1 and 2. Just all black notes. Okay. I must say this is more orthodox, less jumping around. The hands sort of tend to keep to themselves. Then the offbeat or the weak beat. Okay, let's see what's happening. Hands together. I've indicated a thumb here. Brings back a memory from a previous practice session. I've been going to 2 for the black note, 3rd octave. Going to the thumb must mean I had a reason. I see that. Because then I get to my 2nd down, the octave down the 9th. That's good. Difficulty remembering. Down to 6th. Okay, let's see. And even this 4th, the drop of the 4th in white notes, down to G here. Have to be a little bit careful there. Get the G. It's up a 5th from the C here. Normally I don't like to use what I call inchworm technique. You know how inchworms move. Their whole body tends to move and then they bring back the rear end. But in this case, let's see. It's easy to find the 5th, and I have plenty of time. So I'm going to bind those 2 together visually. Easy and it's very easy. Yes. Messages. Now I'm going to go to E flat in the left hand and feel the 5th in the right hand. So this relationship is very easy in the left hand, the F to the E flat. There's a directional nature to it. When I have 2 black notes, there's much less so. So yes, think again. decision gets made, the placement of the left hand and the finding of the right hand note. And lo and behold, I'm going to play the right hand legato temporarily, just to remind myself of the line. Yeah. Now let me let go a little. Funny. That's the only place where I need that linear connection, short of looking at my hand. And I don't feel like doing it. Oh, it's so nice. Yes, indeed. Let me do it once more. To see what's up, because I'm not saying that everything is perfect, but I'm detailing my strategies here, and so it's really useful for me to know what's up. Okay, and then a new key, so be minded. Let's see. Fingerings in as I have it in the left hand, I'm going to assume that what falls is what I want. I would normally go 2-5 at the bottom. I've got to say, a lot of people find greater difficulty in leaps because they're always using their thumb or their fifth on every position. They'll go 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, whatever. And to be able to have part of the hand unbusy, like when I'm using 2-5, thumb is unbusy. So it's much better equipped to then be tossed to. So. And that time I didn't look at my right hand at all, because the right hand is predictable and it's the keys are under the hand, whereas the left hand needs constant visual guidance. Well, not quite. It needs more thoughtfulness. If I try it hard, and ultimately, when I know it well, I won't have to look at all. So, but right now, it's almost perfect. Yeah, I'll do it again. Notes. As you can see, that's not hard. You notice I'm much more stumbly when I'm trying to play it for memory, but I don't understand what aspect of my memory I'm using. I just feel out of sorts. In this case, I'm using the memory of my right hand. I've got a linear groove laid down that is really crystal clear. I still don't have the same thing for these notes in the left hand because they're not continuous. Yes, the upper voice is, but that's not the way it feels. And I certainly, in spite of the fact that I want that voice to connect, not legato, just connect melodically, I don't want the complexity of matching the lower and the upper part of my hands. Maybe I do. Who knows? Right now, that displacement is disorienting rather than helpful. So, if I'm able to let my right hand help me out. Let me see what happens. B, A, and up up here. It cannot be right. Oh, because it's a third. The thirds are just thrown in. It's a 6. Well, I'm starting to make progress in understanding the shape of the left hand. That third I need. The fifth, so the fifth, back to 6th. 6th, 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 6th. Third, 5th. Third, 5th, 6th. Third on top. That's interesting. Well, that helps a lot. See how much it helps? Now, let me try. I'm just going to experiment, okay? Having defined the nature of my left hand, I'm able to do it by feel, which will be very reinforcing. Whoops. See some both. Okay. To D. D. C. Oh, octave. It's always octave. So, B to C. There it is. I'll reinforce it by looking at it, because I know there's a clarity I can execute it well. Then I have at least a physical groove that I can match. Lo and behold. Whoops. I might need to look there. Interestingly, at this point, I've shifted all my attention to my right hand. Not that I need it, but it reminds my left hand of the melodic line. Because the left hand has that constant displacement, and the right hand has it continuously and linearly. Whoops. A little slow. Something half memorized, you're half using the music, half using the internalization. That's the most awkward place, because you don't know where the source of your confidence and knowledge comes from. Is, rather. Okay. C minor maybe? So A minor up to C minor. Okay. And then lots of displacements again, okay. the left hand leads the right hand to the next note. Okay, up again. So we start again now. I assume the left hand will have similar experience. Even the third. He's notated a lot of what looked like sixths before are notated as augmented fifths here. I've got to avoid having that be a distraction. Also, because of the arrangement of black and white notes, I've refingered this fifth. Now I've refingered a 1-4 for comfort. The third instead of 5-3, which was comfortable on a white and black note, is uncomfortable on a white and black, comfortable with 3 and 1, which means a bigger toss. But I think I'm living with it. Let's see. I didn't live with it there. Okay, I've got to remind myself that there's no shifted fingering. In fact, I'm going to just write down the obvious fingering. 5-4-2-1 in measure 174 at the end. Just as a reminder that I have 3 black notes there. You have no idea how those fifths, things that look like fifths but feel like sixths, are. If I'd seen it as a G, A, E flat, I would have had no doubt I'd go 5-2, but because I see it as a fifth, it's misleading. So I've got to remind myself what it really is for my body and my ear. Yeah. Okay, and here it's this spatial connection, the 5-5-4-3-2 chromatic, that really helps. The thumb line traces a different kind of gesture. It swings progressively this way, in toward the keyboard, orients my arm towards the right. And then on the white notes, at the end, it straightens out a bit. Okay, and again, the big thing is the left hand. It keeps getting fragmented more and more. So, white note B and the 3 black notes, then skips down to the F sharp, missing any kind of A. And then 2 notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3. There we go. So if I remember those patterns in the left hand, it takes care of itself. And this B minor outline. These notes, if I just play the pattern. Oh, good. And the B minor twice in a row. That's very nice. And this time it changes. So it's worth it to me. G minor major. Why? We're going to see. In any event, I don't know that I recall it being on G before. Of course, it starts in A, spends plenty of time in A. When it comes back developmentally, it's on F a lot. Okay, that's why it feels so strange, because it's unfamiliar. I guess that's the definition of strange, no? One of them on G. I see. I've got a substitution, 2-5, fifth finger works very nicely. Three, 1-5 to 3, 2-1. So, I've got to change the chord. Let's see if there's another way around that. That's about the only fingering I can come up with is 5. 5-1, 4-1, 2-1. Says andante. Nice. This is the one where I have a lot of repeated fingers that I'm not used to. Repeat. The right hand has to join the left hand. This last section that I played, this slithery section, very easy to read, pleasurable to have a more subdued mood as well, less acute, less jumping around. I'll need to reinforce it quite simply because it seems, relatively speaking, innocuous in its demands, not in its mood. The mood is lovely and it sets up the reintroduction of the A theme with all of its snarling quality, but because it doesn't make those overt challenges, I don't know. I may not find it that challenging. There is the advantage of lots of ostinato of various sorts, so I don't think it'll be that problematical. But I will need to spend some time at it to make sure that it starts to stick. And my next major challenge will be to review the recapitulation, see what's going on there, which I will do it in a later session. See you there.